Didn't get up with a smaller government, really, under GW either. In fact, we got a brand new, huge government bureaucracy called Homeland Security. Yeah, how's that TSA stuff working out for you? So I know I have a lot of friends who are George W. Bush supporters. Don't bring it to me. Do not, because I will point out all the big stuff that he effed up on. And why? I know some people say George was a stupid idiot. No, George wasn't stupid. George was another polished politician. And then we get Obama. The ultimate polished politician. I'm sick of them. I'm done with them. Let's get more people like Donald Trump. They're not politically polished, but they'll tell you the damn truth. Straight up. No chaser. Speaking of government run amok, this is from WND.com. Protest judicial corruption and you will go to jail. Not you could. No, you will go to jail. And you're what is probably what you're thinking. Judge targets people who call into question integrity of the court. Folks, I can't make this stuff up. In response to a protester who shouted that the judicial system is corrupt, a Florida judge ordered the arrest of anyone outside the courthouse, including on certain public sidewalks, who calls into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges. Now, somebody want to tell me that there is no assault on the First Amendment? Y'all, I know some of y'all are out there. You're big against people burning the American flag. I mean, are you kidding me? You think that's more important than the government cracking down on your freedom of speech and freedom of expression? You think that we should have a law that protects the flag? Are you effing kidding me? You now have a judge who is ordering the arrest and jailing of anybody who expresses their First Amendment right by calling out the judiciary in the state of Florida. Look, I can't, this WND, I can't make this stuff up. The order was released on July 1st. Another July 1st thing, hey, the month that we celebrate our nation's independence. This was issued by Judge Mark Mahon, M-A-H-O-N, of the state's 4th Judicial Circuit. Now, among others, it was addressed to bar associations, senior judges, administrative judges, magistrates, public defenders, state attorneys, clerks, lawyers, and the sheriffs in Jacksonville, Clay, and Nassau counties. Now, Mahan, whose staff accepted a request from WND for comment but did not respond, explained in his order why he declared large sections of property, including sections of public sidewalk and parking garages, part of the judicial complex and banned certain speech. Did you hear what I just said? You had a judge who just banned certain speech. Now, all you people out there who are talking about hate speech, there you go. I guess calling the judicial system corrupt for whatever reason, that's hate speech, and that needs to be banned or controlled, right? Now, demonstrations or dissemination of materials that degrade or call into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges. So you can't say, the judge is a fink. Oh, no. Now you're calling into question the integrity of the judge. Nope, can't do that. Off to jail you go. So demonstrations or dissemination of material, so you can't even write it down. You can't even have a pamphlet about a judge. Even if the information in that pamphlet is well thought out, well researched, and all 100% true, you can't do it. Judiciary run amok. So dissemination of materials that degrade or call into question the integrity of the court or any of its judges by, for example, claiming the court personnel or judges are corrupt, biased, dishonest, partial, or prejudiced, thereby tending to influence, quote unquote, individuals appearing before the courts, including jurors, witnesses, and litigants, shall be prohibited on the Duval County Courthouse grounds. The judge said and ordered. Any person engaging in the type of expressive conduct as indicated in this order may be found in criminal contempt of court. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office shall give any person on the courthouse grounds who is violating any provision of this order a copy of this order and advise such person of the relevant restrictions herein. So the judge just created a law. Judges can't do that by the Constitution, but this judge, I can make my own law. I guess if I were to stand on the Duval County Courthouse and call out the judge by saying it is constitutionally illegal for a judge to write a law, I guess I would be found in contempt and go to jail. Are you people hearing this? He said that if an individual is observed to engage in conduct that is in violation of this order after having been provided notice as set forth herein, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is hereby directed to arrest and charge the offending individual with indirect criminal contempt of court and any other charges deemed appropriate, and transport such person to the Duval County Jail for identification and arresting processing. So, any other relevant charges. So they can just start trumping up all kinds of stuff. And you want to talk, we already have people that hate the police as it is. Can you imagine if a sheriff's deputy goes to arrest somebody for practicing their free speech, their First Amendment rights? And that person even looks at, probably thinking, are you kidding me? And probably jerks back from the officer thinking he's not doing anything illegal. And, well, now all of a sudden, now he's got a resisting arrest. And if he touches the officer, he's probably got, assaulting an officer, as well as indirect contempt of court. That, by the time this person gets done, he's probably got 5 or 6 new charges. And bail set at $10,000 or more. Look, the cops are ordered to, they have to defend the law. But you know what? What the police fail to also sometimes realize is just like the military. You do not have to follow an illegal order. This order from this judge is anti-constitutional, it is unconstitutional, and therefore illegal. He cannot just decide, well, you don't get to call into question the judges on the bench here in this county. Oh, no, you don't get to do that. You don't. I don't care who the hell you think you are. You don't get to do it. Because the Constitution basically says that you have a right to, your freedom of expression, and the government, meaning the judges too, cannot infringe upon that right. Now, the ruling has rightfully generated concern for its impact on the First Amendment. Said other penalties could include injunctive relief, confinement, a monetary fine, or otherwise. You know what otherwise is? Otherwise is jail. Just jail time. Now, if you're, for contempt of court, judge, there is no trial for contempt. This is the problem with locking people up for contempt. There is no trial. You just go to jail, you go straight to jail, and you stay there as long as the judge says so. Look, again, I can't make this stuff up. I wish I could. Look, you got the IRS over there telling you how to spend your money. And if you don't spend it the way they tell you that you can spend it, they're going to fine you nearly $40,000. And now you got a judge down in Florida who says, well, you don't have a First Amendment right on the on public property around here, so don't even try it. And people are wondering, what about Donald Trump. I mean, can we have a wake-up call here in America? I mean, look, I can't, I'm beside myself in this one. I mean, look, folks, I have been doing this broadcast. I started doing this in 2009. And no, in the greater scheme of things, especially with a lot of the other, talk shows and political shows and non-politicals and all that kind, I get it. I'm still kind of a noob. I get it. But, I don't hear very many people talking to you the way I'm talking to you. I don't hear very many people coming down and slamming our politicians and our judges and people who are running our government. I do not hear it. And maybe if there were more voices like mine out there who were calling for this stuff to be, to cut it out, maybe we'd start finally making some progress, and we'd start getting rid of all the polished politicians. We start getting some real non-fake people in different levels of offices, from local to state to federal. And we'd actually start to turn our country back around and turn ourselves back toward our Constitution, where everybody has more freedom, more liberty, and more money in their back pocket. But, you could call me a lone voice in the wind. I don't care. I'm going to keep shouting it as loud as I can for as long as I'm sure that somebody's probably trying to write a law somewhere that would prevent people like me from getting on the, it's going to be the FCC. They're going to come down and say, well, Rod, this is, the fairness doctrine for the internet. That we now get to regulate because we said we get to regulate it. So you got to be a little bit more fair. So you can't talk about certain stuff without having an alternate comment. Look, I fully expect that to be coming from the FCC. Unless we get them out of the business of regulating the internet, it is not going to be a free-for-all for very long. Don't doubt me on that. Do not, and if you people sometimes, I find it funny that people get, it is unfathomable how upset people get about being censured on Facebook. I mean, they get livid. Like, are you kidding me? You don't own Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg owns Facebook, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. But you do own the government. And they're doing all kinds of things worse than Facebook, but you're more upset with Facebook for putting you in a timeout than what the government is doing to you. I'm not even, with this happening today, people's attitudes, like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be blunt. I'm not even sure if we're worth saving. I'm not sure if we deserve it. Do you think so?